Hey everyone, how's it going? This is CryptoTakeOver coming back with another Bitcoin video for y'all again. We recently just had this nice little Bart pattern being put in. We found our way up to about 7,250 and then we dropped all the way back down, making a lower, kind of a lower structure to 6.6 K. So it does kind of look like overall that we are kind of putting in somewhat of a topping out pattern here, but is that yet to be determined? The overall midterm structure is still kind of bullish, but we're going to take a look at the charts in the higher time frames, some of these mid time frames too, see what's going on. If that sounds interesting to y'all, please stick around, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that way y'all can be updated, because I make a Bitcoin video every single day. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so if you are brand new to this channel, we use the market cipher indicator by CryptoFace. You can find some links down in the description box below if y'all are interested in picking that up. And then as well, we have we had this nice little sell-off. We'll start here on the 15-minute time frame. We had this really big sell-off, which was kind of what I was expecting to happen from back here, but we had the pump up to 7.3, and then we had this drop down to 6.6K. So what I was expecting was not to have this big pump up. I was just expecting a straight drop back down to the lower 6K area, but it took a while for us to get there, and then we had the big sell-off happen. So kind of putting in some crazy patterns right now before the halving. I believe it's in just about 30 days or so as well too, but putting in some nice bar patterns here to kind of freak everyone out just a little bit. So but we can see here on our 15-minute time frame, we're getting squeezed between two of our key EMAs here. I'll turn on our Cipher SR indicator to see what's happening as well. Also, we can see that the bulls are in a little bit of their territory right now, just with the VWAP holding as support for us right now as well too. We had the bears kind of wanting to take control of the market earlier when the daily candle opened. Now we can see that the bulls do have this in their playing area right now. So once we get this squeeze here, we'll decide whether or not that breaks to the upside or downside. We could come back up and retest this top pivot point, which is at about 6,900. But as you can see, I feel like for the most part we've topped out on this overall structure that we've had since we bottomed out at 6.8K. But that is just my predicament. I believe that right now we're in a little bit of a consolidation, probably a flat area as of right now. So I know some Elliott waivers out there. I've been trying to get a little bit better at Elliott wave, but it's just going to be one of those things that I need to practice just a little bit more before I feel very confident in it. So I guess I could draw some things out and see. So I think we had, this would be our 1, 2, 3. And then we probably have another 1, 2, 3, and that could be our flat that happens there. But usually when Bitcoin likes to consolidate out to the side like this, we usually get a ABC flat or a three-wave move kind of flat pullback projection. So we can also take a look at our fib retracements here too. So we'll go from that 7.2 area all the way back down to where we were at. And our 618 is roughly at about 6,900. And then our 0.5, our golden pocket here, is in the area of 68, 69. So I would imagine that we'll probably range between the 68 and 69 area just for a little bit longer, whether or not this breaks to the upside. Let's go into our 30-minute time frame right now. So right now, getting some of the squeeze between our two key EMAs as well is going to give us an idea of if we break to the top side of it or break below it, whether or not we're going to have a nice little run up or a dump too. So we'll just have to kind of keep an eye on this to see what's going to happen here. And then we take a look at our 45-minute. We can also see that our money flow was moving kind of into the green just a little bit, but look like we kind of are having a little bit of a topping out pattern here on Cipher B blue wave down here. Haven't put in just a red dot just yet, but it does look like it might not have the momentum to get us up there. So we could come back down, retest the VWAP as support, and then maybe continue back to the upside to retest our 100 EMA up here at about 6,800. So that is a very firm possibility. And so we'll keep an eye on that. I've actually given my Patreon members access to the trading bot that I've been working on, and right now my Patreon members they do have access to the signals that my trading bot is giving, which is pretty neat. I was able to set this up in Discord, so pretty freaking awesome. So they have access to know when my bot goes short and when the bot goes long. So as y'all know, I've been working on a 3 commas bot as well. Y'all can check out 3 commas. The link's in the description box below, but I use my custom indicators that I have on the screen here, which you can get videos on how to set those up inside of the Patreon page. They are private videos, but everything is on the Patreon page on how to set up those custom indicators that I have on the screen that you can see. But right now, if you do want to sign up for the April special, you are getting a 35% off discount from normal pricing. At the end of April, prices will go back up. So if y'all want to go ahead and join in, start trading with us, see exactly what we're doing inside of the market. I give daily summaries every single day on the Bitcoin charts and what I'm seeing. Also, you'll have access to my trading bot signals, and as well as my ins and outs of the market that are not based on my trading bot, but just my overall trajectory of where I think Bitcoin could be headed to, right? So I like to do, the bot is more for scalping, and then my ins and outs that I post are more for the swing trades, right? So I hope they all enjoy that. We have some really good people in there. They're going to help you out. If you are brand new to trading, I would at least recommend getting familiar with whatever platform that you're using first. Learn at least what market orders, limit orders are, and then learn a little bit about laddering orders as well and how to adjust your leverage. There is a community rules and guidelines whenever you join the Discord group that you need to follow along to. So if you do want to just join the Discord group and come in there and chat with us a little bit, and just see how Discord works. I know there's a lot of newer people to Discord anyways, so feel free to just join it, but read the community rules and guidelines, and then you're going to have to click accept on there in order to gain access to the Discord server as well too. So that's for everyone that's joining, even my Patreon members that will be joining us to trade with us as well. If y'all just want to sign up for my weekly newsletter or monthly newsletter is more like it, it's because I don't really send it out weekly, but you get pretty much curated content that I give my Patreon members every once in a while. So those private videos, I'll send those out to the newsletter subscribers every once in a while too as well. So feel free to get signed up for that. I also do giveaways here and there. So in order to qualify for those, you need to be signed up for the newsletter. So I look forward to at least having y'all sign up for there if y'all don't want to sign up for the VIP section of the Patreon page. But yeah, join us in the Telegram announcements channel too. I just give announcements in there. I like to have fun, just post a bunch of different things, news articles and such. So join us in there. The channel's growing a little bit, so that's nice. Thanks for everyone that's stopping by and checking all those things out too as well. So we can see here on our 1 hour, starting to move into that greenish money flow, kind of our blue waves kind of moving up here too. A nice little Christmas tree pattern happening. Bitcoin just being undecisive, but it does look like we are wanting to make that move to the upside now. So we'll probably have our EMA squeeze right in between here, or we just shoot all the way up to the 100 EMA, which is at about 6,800 based on our other EMA squeezes on our lower time frames too as well. Coming into our 2 hours also, we can see that we did have our buy signal here, and that we are getting a nice little push between, or squeeze between our 13 EMA and our VWAP as support for us right now too. So we can also keep an eye on this and see, okay, well, we might get a squeeze here between our VWAP and then decide whether or not that's going to push to the upside or not. So as you can see, we're putting in a nice little bullish divergence here on our 2 hour as well on Cipher B, along with our money flow that's also kind of moving to the upside here. So that could be a nice little indication that we could get a nice little push to the upside at about 6,900, possibly in the next few hours or so. And this would probably be our price target up here. If not, we could turn on some of our Aldo EMAs and maybe get some other price targets out there as well. Maybe our 50, see where that's at. Our 50 is at about 6,900. And then, yeah, so 69.25, 6,900. Then we could also turn on our 21 EMA, sitting at about 68. So these are just some price targets there. I don't like to have too much on the screen whenever I'm doing the videos, just so that way it doesn't look too crazy. But the Aldo EMAs is a custom indicator as well that y'all can get inside of the private or Discord. Inside of the Patreon group. That's a private video. So as we move into our 4 hour here, let's go up into our 4 hour. You can see that we are still trending above the VWAP. I'll go ahead and turn off our Cipher SR since that's mostly for lower time frames. We are kind of getting this death cross here. So we might have some resistance depending on whether or not this cross actually decides to push the upside. We're going to see if we can still maybe kind of make our way up there, maybe kind of putting in a little bit of a trigger wave here for us as well. I'd want to see a green dot here to confirm that we're going to have a nice little trigger wave. And then that trigger wave could possibly send us up above that 0 pivot point on Cipher B as well. Seeing our resistance is at about 68.44. So 68.44. So that might be a little bit of resistance for us. We'll probably have to see where our VWAP wants to squeeze at too, and decide whether or not we're going to have enough momentum to push us to the upside here. If that's going to be probably some nice resistance for us as well. We'll just have to keep an eye on the charts and see, but we are putting in a little bit of bullish divergence right now here on our 4 hour. So if you are scalping, just be sure to make sure to take your profits, because we are in very choppy waters right now too as well. And then as we move into our 6 hour time frame, we can move into our 6 hour time frame also as well. We can see that our Cipher B also putting in somewhat of a little bit of a trigger wave. We'll probably see a nice little green dot here in a little bit, but once these death crosses happen, there'll probably be some pretty strong resistance for us to, we could end up doing some crazy wick like this where we pump for a couple of hours and then completely sell off. That could happen again, more or less. I would say that it's probably better to maybe just trade off of some of these lower time frames right now, because we are very choppy waters, and so we just need to be aware of everything that's happening. But we know that we have very strong resistance overhead with this trend line that's right here. So that's sitting at about 7,200 right now. So this is where I think that we've topped out at. I think that our 7.4K area was our last topping out pattern, that 7.4K area. I think that we will probably, continue sideways here for a while, or continue to make some nice, more lower highs, if anything. So I would say that if we could have broken through that 7.4K area, I would have been a little bit more bullish. We took a long way back over here, and we made pretty good play there. But then here I was thinking, okay, we're going to go up for another higher high. We didn't quite get that. We came pushing back down. We flipped short after we had that first wick down to the bottom side. So now we're just going to have to see what's going to happen here if we continue out sideways and then maybe push up, or if we just continue to maybe have a little bit of a waterfall cascade, as we've seen in previous happenings where Bitcoin has topped out at, especially here on this trend line. It's topped out on this trend line, and then it's just kind of waterfall. It's come back up to retest it, waterfall. So now we came back up to retest it. We're going to have to see whether or not we're going to have another big waterfall sell-off, or if that's going to, if we come back up and retest the trend line. I would imagine that we'll probably break it the next time that we test it. So, every time that we hit the trend line, it gets weaker and weaker, right? So currently seeing some nice death cross resistance above head at about 68.35. So that's just something to be aware of, that we probably have pretty strong resistance up above head with these death crosses happening right here. So see on our 8 hour as well, money flow moving down into the red. This is where I thought that we wouldn't have this big spike up, but Bitcoin likes to be a little crazy sometimes. So I was thinking it would be okay to go on your short here, but now we still have some pretty strong, with the volume being pretty low too. I think that a lot of these markets are looking for the liquidity spikes too, and we just have to be aware of that. So if you are in your profits, make sure you take them. And I think that overall, if any pump to the upside right now is just another indication that we could be headed a little bit lower. I know CryptoFace is on a different predicament about this too as well, but that's totally fine. I think we just have different ways of reading certain things. Like I don't really think he uses a lot of the EMAs, but these are pretty strong indications for me of what's happening right now too. So as we move into our 12-hour, we can also see that getting rejected by our 13 EMA here, finding it as resistance. It looks like once we trend below this or above this, we stay kind of below it for a while. If we're in some choppy waters, we can definitely get an idea that. So it does look like we still need to bottom out here just a tad bit more, but when we are below it, we continue to kind of sell off just a tad bit. We can go back here and look at what was happening over here too as well when we started trending below it. So we just need to be ready, at the ready for whatever may take place. If you're in profits, go ahead and take them, and don't get greedy out there, people, because there's a lot of people on different pages about this right now, thinking that we're still very bullish. And there's a lot of people out there thinking that we're very, bearish, or that we could get bearish, pretty soon. With volume pretty low, we're just going to have to keep an eye on things. That means that a big whale could come in and really move the market either direction as well. I think on our lower time frame, we're going to have to keep an eye on this flat pattern that's happening. So our ABC, we could have. So we could go A, B, C, and then A, B, and then decide whether or not it's down or up. But I think that is just one thing that we're going to have to keep an eye on. Or we could count it maybe like, we could go A, B, and then C, and then have one more A, B, and then C down. It could happen something like that. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. But shout out to Sin Crypto. I've been watching him a lot lately too. And he's been talking about those flat patterns that Bitcoin likes to play out whenever it moves sideways as well too. So we'll just have to keep an eye on this. And even here, we could flatten out. Let me see. We could also flatten out here as well. Maybe have our correction phase after that sell-off. So A, B, and then C, and then A, B, and then C, or A, B could be up here. So I'm trying to get better Elliott wave, to be honest. I'll have to do a little bit more studying on it, but I feel like it's kind of an underrated theory for the most part. So, I just like to get as much knowledge as I can, and I hope that you're doing the same as well too. We can see here on our 1 day, our sell signal has signaled with the money flow also moving into the red, indicating a nice little sell-off that is happening right now. So just be aware, market's kind of undecisive right now. We could get a nice little another liquidity spike back up to that 7K area or that 6.9K area, and people just need to be ready for that whenever it occurs. So with that being said, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and end this here, and I'm going to do the rest of the analysis of the macro time frame with my Patreon members, and then give them their daily summary. So if y'all are interested in that, like I said, you're getting a 35% off special that will be your locked-in price each month, and then after the end of this month, the prices will go back up. So feel free to join us in the month of April and start learning and trading with us as well. And with that being said, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and sign on out, and I'll see y'all on the next one.